Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Alliance, where Clay was about to say something. I should have warned him that I was hitting go live, but I had failed at that. Hi, guys. We're here to talk about. That's not right. That says Dynasty of Evil on the background, Clay.
Hold on.
We're here, guys.
I did the StreamYard stuff on my laptop, not on my desktop, so I need to go find it, and I'll put up in the background.
At least I caught it sooner rather than later. Y'all, we're here to talk about Disney's new CEO that is going to be taking over mid-March, as well as Zoraida Cordova's A Crash of Fate. Guys, we are going to, in honor of the first official YA romance novel in the Star Wars genre, we're talking this month about the two romance novels that we have not talked about already, which are A Crash of Fate and Lost Star. So that's what you can look forward to, especially with it being Valentine's Day. Like, it's super comforting talking about romance in this vein of things. So Crash of Fate was first just because I feel like Lost Stars is like the big one in Star Wars that everybody talks about. And so for a Valentine's Day episode, I was like, that one makes the most sense to do for Valentine's Day. But I love this book that we're going to talk about today. But we got to talk about news first. So, Clay, you probably know more about this guy than I do.
So, no, I don't. But there's two things that I really want to bring up. One, the whole reason why I wanted to talk about his name being
Josh D'Amaro. D'Amaro? D'Amaro sounds right.
D'Amaro? Yes. That's how I pronounce it. He is, of course, going to be the new CEO of Disney. We have felt all sorts of different ways when it comes to Bob Iger and his leadership at Disney. We've loved him. We've hated him. We've, threw our fist at him. Not throw our fist, shake our fist at him. With a lot of decisions that he's recently made, more so because of the, of course, hit piece that came out about the Hunt for Ben Solo.
Mm-hmm.
And my question to you is, and it's harder for you to answer this question because you don't know anything about Josh, but is he going to play ball? That's my real question. And this is more so not just to you, but to everybody and to myself. And just like, what does this mean for this new leadership,
Yeah, so it's hard to say, right? Because this guy has mostly been in charge of it looks like the Disney Experiences. He's the chairman of the Disney Experiences, which I think relegates him to parks.
Yes.
In that regard, which we had heard that Disney was going to try to start pushing the parks a little bit more and getting more revenue out of the parks. So this move makes sense. My thought process is that Josh is not going to have a whole lot of feedback on the experience, like on the entertainment side of things. He's going to more run the business element of things, because the runner-up for the CEO spot, Dana Walden, has been named, where was it? He has been named president and chief creative officer, which chief creative officer has not apparently been something that Disney has had previously. The CCO and the CEO were the same person.
Mm-hmm.
So Dana is currently the TV chief, and it looks like the co-chairman of Disney Entertainment. So this move makes sense. I feel like she has entertainment experience. She can lead the creative side of things for Disney's IPs, all of the different elements and everything. And hopefully they work very much like James Gunn and Peter Safran, hopefully like Dave Filoni and oh my gosh, I've already forgotten her name.
Brennan.
Brennan. Lin-Win Brennan. And so hopefully this works in a very similar vein. She doesn't get the co-CEO name, but for Disney, I mean, the CCO position,
I think still holds a lot of weight. Yeah, I think that still holds a lot of weight. And one of the big things that just recently, I think today came out is Josh D'Amaro, however you want to pronounce. He's come out and said that AI will not be a leading structure for Disney moving forward. Quoting and saying that Disney is the powerhouse that it is because of the creative minds behind it, and you cannot replace that.
Yeah.
I like that. Now, you're only saying it right now. You have to prove it. You have to show it.
Which is exactly the same thing. I feel a little nervous that we have to deal with new Lucasfilm CEO or presidents at the same time as new Disney CEO. Feel a little wonky in this environment of things. Important to note, I saw this on Twitter, but Alan is still on the Disney board, and he was one of the ones who said no to the Hunt for Ben Solo. So now the question is if that script were to come back up, does he immediately cut it out, or does Dana and Josh get a fighting chance for it if they see fit?
I would hope so. More so only because legitimately due to the reaction of its announcement that it will never be. There was a huge wave on all platforms and a huge reaction from the Hunt of Ben Solo.
Yep.
That I think that if this were to come up again, they would legitimately say, hey, let's pause for a second. Let's actually consider this. What does this mean for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that purely based off of what has happened in the past, they do get that fighting chance. I really hope that, because again, guys, like we've talked about this before, we've had a Parks guy in the chair before. I dubbed him Bad Bob way back when. And Josh, it's so weird how things, but it's technically how things work when it comes to corporate business. Bad Bob moved up, and Josh literally moved in the spot that Bad Bob was in.
Yeah.
And so when Bad Bob left, good Bob, mediocre Bob now, took his spot. Now he's leaving. Now Josh is going up. So, like, this dude has been in it for the long run when it comes to Disney. So, I'm excited to see what the separation of powers has for Disney. What this means for the future years, because everything is kind of already set in stone for what's already coming out. I don't think they're going to have much control over what happens to those movies and like control over like reactionary control over what happens if the movies fail in the box office and all of that. So
Yeah.
I think really we see a bunch of their choices will affect anything after 2026.
Yeah. I think so too. Because you're not gonna come in and cut things out um like Filoni's not gonna come and just like completely take Starfighter out from
Yeah.
releasing. Like that's not gonna happen. Um sorry. So yeah, I definitely would think we're not going to see it's 2027 production, maybe late December before we see anything like come of their reign in the movie
Yeah.
set, like you said.
Yeah. For sure. But guys, that's really all the news. I was actually looking at our news feed in the Star Wars Alliance chat, and there's really nothing that we talked about.
Well, okay, there is one more thing, but it's mainly just a question because Jason Momoa has come out and said that he and
yes.
Dave Bautista want to be in Star Wars, particularly as villains.
So
do you see this happening?
So I was literally thinking about this on my way to work. And both of these names have come up for the exact same character. And unfortunately, it kind of shows like the not so creative mindset of Star Wars fans when it comes to fan casting and villains, because it's always, hey, that dude could play Bane. Hey, he could be Bane. Hey, he could be Bane. And I can understand the reasoning why. Bane is a towering individual. He's very intimidating. Momoa and Bautista can both be very intimidating characters on screen. They've done it before. So yeah, I can see them playing that type of character. Do I want them to play Bane? No. I think Momoa, this is kind of like out of left field. And I don't think you would ever do it because that character is already done with, but he has not seen a live action version of himself. Momoa would play a very good oh shoot, I forgot his name. Maul's brother.
Savage Opress.
Yes, Savage.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
I think Momoa has like the like beastly anger that Savage has in all of the episodes that he of course showed up in the Clone Wars. So I could see Momoa as Savage. Bautista, I could actually see, because like I think Bautista is getting very used to his like new body.
Yeah.
He of course stopped, like he's still being healthy for sure. He's being healthy, he's working out a whole lot, but he is not bulking up the way that he used to for roles and for wrestling for sure. And he's getting older. He said like, hey, I can't keep up with everybody who's, doing all of these hardcore workouts for superhero movies anymore. So
yeah.
I think he would be a very interesting like sci-fi villain, like a mad
Like
scientist type of character in Star Wars. I think if you give him like if Momoa was the brawn, Bautista would be the brain. And hell, I would even be okay with creating two brand new characters for that exact dynamic. If
Yeah.
you give Batista like this incredible brain and he's wanting to, do something to thwart the Jedi, or whatever, and then Momoa being the brawny guy that he is, being the muscle, I'd be totally down for that.
Yeah. I would agree with that, especially if they want to, because they've gotten more into a vein of like, oh, they want to do buddy cop kind of roles. So I think that would work. Um, for me, I don't consider either of them too famous because I feel like both have taken on roles where they very much hide behind the role that they're in. They're very good at doing that. So I don't consider them too famous to take on a Star Wars role because they tend to blend in to their surroundings in my book.
Ooh, that's a good question for Travis.
Because we
Actually.
always have to have this question when a celebrity says, I want to be in a Star Wars film.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, because Snell, we love you, Snell, but we have to like talk about it now
well,
because
well,
it's
he's
big.
he's the one that kind of brought it up to us. Is that like some people can be too famous for Star Wars, and I don't really agree to that. Mainly because we like Star Wars is an entire universe with plenty of different types of alien species. Like
Yeah.
you can literally make the most famous person you know look unrecognizable.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know if people know this, but Mark Hamill was in the SpongeBob movie, and people did not know because of so much makeup that he had. He played the freaking live action version of the Flying Dutchman.
Ah,
So,
okay.
like,
I, I was never a SpongeBob person, so I haven't seen it.
yeah, well, neither have I. I literally saw a random TikTok about it the other day, and I was like, "Oh, that's Mark Hamill." And then somebody was like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was Mark Hamill." I was like, you kind of just have to look. It's Mark Hamill, but oh well. Um, but yeah, I think that with the ability of special effects, makeup, you could easily have somebody like a Momoa or a Batista be in broad daylight, and you never know who it is.
Yep, for sure. Um, I think they'd both be perfect for Star Wars, especially as we try to delve more. I say as we try to delve more. I would say as we as a society are kind of in the zone of oh we must make the villains extremely characterizable and like make them a huge part of the movie TV show. I don't
Do you know? Oh my gosh. Hold on. This might
know.
be blasphemous. This might be blasphemous. Hold on.
So while he looks that up, guys, A Crash of Fate was a part of the Galaxy's Edge multimedia project, which included Galaxy's Edge Black Spire, A Crash of Fate, Dark Legends, Myths and Fables, Ellie and Me, several reference books, the Galaxy's Edge comic series, Star Wars Adventures Volume 6, Flight of the Falcon, and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Echoes of the Empire. Um, it has had several video game adventures, including Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Last Call, The Sims for Star Wars Journey to Batuu, trading cards, and more. So there is and a whole symphonic suite by John Williams.
Yeah.
So this was a giant shebang to promote Galaxy's Edge as a park, very similar to Princess and the Scoundrel, where you can see, hey, we were told to include these details to help sell the park to you, basically. Once you get past the beginning, it becomes less of a sales pitch, only to turn around at the end and become more of a sales pitch. I don't consider that a fault of the writer in this case. I think it was very similar to Beth Revis. There's only so much you can do when you're said, hey, you need to bring these things into it. And if you're told, hey, you need to mention more of these things, in an IP universe, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah. And I think genuinely there is enough, and I like to use this analogy a lot when it comes to kind of actual context in the story and characters and all of this. There's a lot of meat and potatoes outside of Galaxy's Edge, right?
Ah! Right.
And
Yeah.
I think that, of course, is where the heart of this story is. Also, when I said this is blasphemous, do you think Momoa could play Porter Engle?
Um, maybe a younger Porter Ingle where he had the more muscular edge in the mid, like if he were to be like the Broken Blade, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
which is where we're assuming, okay, that's a Porter Ingle comic taking place in Phase 3. So he is the older gentleman.
Yeah.
I think he would have to put on a lot of weight for that to create the character there.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe a younger one that we saw in the Blade because he was a little thinner. And I know that's controversial to people, but that was the way the character was described.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Just thinking random, like, other than villains. I was like, oh, what could they do?
Yeah, I would say he has the blade skill, I feel like, to do that with all of his other experience between like I think it was C on Apple TV, Game
and
of
Aquaman,
Thrones, Aquaman. So he has the experience, I feel like, to maintain the weaponry. It would be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Because I know Charles Soule, that was the other thing we didn't talk about. Charles Soule's newsletter. He said he has some projects up and coming that are like smaller edge things because we did lie in the Legend of Darth Vader one. That was a limited series. It just had its final issue. So right now there's really not any ongoing Star Wars comics because also it looks like Alex Segura's Star Wars run is also ending at issue number 12. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either until a couple of days ago. So
I wonder, does that mean it's not selling very well? Oh no.
Well, we saw the new comic line last week with what was the comic line with Kevin Scott and Greg Pak?
Oh yeah, the paper cuts.
Yeah,
stuff.
We saw that one. So maybe they're like, okay, Marvel's a little expensive. So we need to kind of branch out in other directions and maybe not have an ongoing, but just have many runs.
Maybe. But Katie.
Clay.
I told you before we started recording, I like this story a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Yes. Which makes me happy.
When it comes to romantasy, because technically that's what this is in some form or fashion.
Correct. Yes.
I was introduced to the genre from Abby, actually. It was like, it was weird because it was also like religious romantasy, which it was very odd.
How does that work? We don't have to talk about this now, but I just had to ask that question.
I'll answer it when we're off air. But romance as a genre, not just romantasy, but romance was kind of introduced by Abby for me. And me being the guy that I was back then, I was like, romance, I'm not gonna like this, blah, blah, blah. And I slowly started to be like, holy crap, this is actually a really good genre. And I've kind of dabbled my toes in to a lot of different things when it comes to romance and romantasy. This one, I didn't know what I was really expecting. Because, like I said, I thought this was a High Republic book when just looking at it. I don't know why I thought that. But I just saw the cover. I was like, this looks like a High Republic book. It doesn't have High Republic in the title at all. But that should be my first, indicator that it's not High Republic.
This was published before the High Republic was even a thing. It was published August 6th, 2019.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And so when I started reading it, I was like, okay, a little bit of a trope, long lost friends. And I'll be honest, the idea that these long lost best friends were actually always meant to be together, I kind of rolled my eyes at. I was like, this is going to be the most cheesy, sappy writing that I probably will not enjoy whatsoever. And they made it very compelling. I like Izzy's character because she, for one, they kind of make you they flip the roles.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it on purpose. When they are young, in the beginning of the book, they run off planet with Izzy and her parents. And Izzy is so sad and she's crying. She's like, Dad, no, we gotta go back, and her dad is the one that answers her. No, we can't go. We can't go back. We just have to go. So that kind of leads the reader into thinking, what did the dad do? What did the dad do? But as you come to learn, the dad did nothing wrong. It was the mother who lived this lifestyle of being a little bit of a scoundrel, being a little bit of a... Well, we don't... At the very end, we still don't know.
Yeah, it appears that she was a combination bounty hunter and smuggler at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
She taught her daughter a lot of survival skills and kind of focused on that as her end goal of teaching in the end stage.
Mm-hmm.
But like to your point of switching the roles, I think Cordova does an incredible job with that aspect of flipping your gender norms. We have the girl as the smuggler who ends up off world and ends up coming back, where that would typically be a guy's role, because the guy in this situation stays on planet even after talking about how much he wanted to get off world and like go see the universe kind of thing. And he ends up staying on Batuu as a farmer to take care of his family. And so those norms that we typically see in this girl takes care of her family, guy goes off world, comes back kind of situation, that has changed here. We're flipped around. And she does a really good job making it very normal. I know
And
that's
natural.
a weird way to
Yeah.
say it.
No,
It's
no.
very natural. Natural was the word I was looking for. Thank you. I just love the way Cordova writes, guys. If you haven't read her Incendiary and Illusionary series, it's a duology.
Those I have not read. She did, of course, read
she wrote it in High Republic. Yeah.
High Republic Phase 2.
Yeah.
Which ones were... It wasn't Cataclysm. It was... Convergence. I was like, I knew it's a C. Which one is it?
Yeah, it's one of those two. Yeah. She did that one, and then she did the middle grades in Phase... She did 2 middle grades in Phase 3, I think.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, incredible author. Really does a fantastic job with it. And like, I'm typically not one who goes and like looks for like perfect writing, but every time I read one of Cordova's writings, like typically as you reread something, you might go, oh, that's a mistake there, or like that doesn't sound super right. I've never found that with Cordova's writing at all. Like super clean writer. Really good job.
Yeah.
Like overall, I think this is like probably my 5th time rereading this because I loved it so much when it first came out.
And it's surprisingly a quick read.
It really is, because I procrastinated, so I started this last night.
So did I. No. I procrastinated as well. Not gonna lie. I started this yesterday. Um, and then I was like, crap, how am I going to get this? And I was like, let's see if my very tired brain can process 2.5 speed on an audiobook. And I got it all. And then I was able to finish the last 10 chapters at 1.6 speed. So
I will tell you, Lost Stars is not as quick a read. So you need to start that tomorrow.
Oh boy. I have it, so like I have it digitally. Um so I really dug this. I like Izzy as a character. I like Jules. I like their motivations or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
Um I like the scenario that they get into. It's a very simple, hiccup of things. Um, Izzy gets into a job that, hey, ask no questions, get paid, you're good to go, blah blah
Yep.
blah blah blah. And it's a very easy mix up of bags. Very classic trope. But it works and I really really like it. Um I like how the farm boy, ignorance is bliss type of character that Jules is for when Izzy comes around, because he kind of calls her out on her bullshit a whole lot when it comes to her putting up her guards and not trusting anybody. And so she lies a lot. And I thought that was a very interesting point in the book. There's a lot of lying on every side. But there comes a point where I think Izzy is the first to say it. She is quoting her mother and saying, lying is a skill.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes back later on in the book, basically as code for Jules to basically tell Izzy that, hey, I'm just playing their game. We'll figure this out later. Um, so I like all of that. I really, really do. The like romance side of it, excuse me, I think it didn't get too like it was nothing
I
compared
would say
to
I
that
would say
of
this is
like
very YA friendly. Like
very tame.
you
Very,
see a
very tame.
lot of things nowadays where it's like YA, but there's sex in it. There's no sex in this. I would
Yes.
consider this like true YA.
This is true young adult, but even so, this is like just flirtatious, because even when like I kind of thought like, oh, they're gonna go all the way deep and like you're gonna see like plans of a future and like a proposal and things like that. Like, no, like at the end of this, they're still just like friends and dating,
Yeah.
like there's no real thing. Like they both have the idea of like, I love this person,
Yep.
right? But there's never anything that's like, oh, we're gonna, stop what we're doing and we're gonna make a family and we're gonna plant our roots here and
Yeah.
all of this other stuff.
Very
Um,
much like we want to go explore the world, the universe together,
yeah,
and that's it basically.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and the fact that this is a tame romance doesn't detract me from it in the slightest. Like it makes it super fun, and it reminds you of the idealistic like young love sort of thing, because you look at it and it's like, okay, they were 6 years old when Izzy and her family left, and she's returning 13 years later. So they're only 19 years old in this. So very much young love situation. Um Cordova just is incredible with, I have said that already, but like I love how she includes certain tropes, like, and it's again that reversal of norms, because like on page 258, um Jules says, "My eyes are up here, Garcia." Like,
Yeah.
but that's typically the girl's line, and I just cackled, like, super fun.
Yeah, that is when they're going swimming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then only a couple pages later, like I have it like dual marked, because I marked everything in red that I wanted to like highlight on the podcast. But like he talks, like she's so very much like, but like what happens tomorrow? Like what if you decide in 2 weeks and we're flying together and you hate my guts and now you want to come back to Batu? Like what happens then? And he just tells her like, I want you because you're everything. You are the reason I can find bravery when I don't want to be brave. And I just like, oh, like, oh.
How did you feel about the little bit of mystery that we had in here? And I say mystery as far as like Doc. Doc was somebody that of course Jules knew, and he had gone missing. But they kept going at it like, oh, this feels weird. Something feels weird about this. Where is he? Why hasn't he been here yet? Hey, he's been gone like a really long time. And they kept going at it. So how did you feel about like a good chunk of like the end of the beginning? Like I want to say the end of the first act up until like middle of the second act. We kind of have that mystery and we finally find him. How did you feel about all that? Did that detract from the story at all, you feel like, or did it fit pretty well?
I felt like it fit pretty well. What did you think? Because to me, I'm like, okay, this is helping them rebond and kind of thing, because it's delaying her. So it gave the story a reason for Izzy to be delayed and not just like get with Doc and come back. Yeah. So I felt like it fit.
At first, I was kind of feeling like, oh, this is literally only to get us from point A to point B. And when I started to see more of the conversations that Izzy and Jules were having with the topic of Doc, it got to a point where it's like, okay, Izzy is seeing how Jules works, what he's been up to for this entire time. Kind of sees what kind of person he is when it comes to like, oh, well, Doc doesn't do anything out of the ordinary. He never does anything out of schedule. He doesn't leave anything out of place. You know, being real, like, attention to detail type of person. Both Doc and Jules at this point. And this also does introduce us to, is it Tap or Tip? I can't remember. Tap. The relationship between Jules and Tap is also seen by Izzy through this interaction.
Yep.
And I also think that that helps us for later on when the third act finally starts to really ramp up and getting to the climax of the story. Tap is a very important part of that. And so I think I enjoyed that.
And what did you feel? Because, like you said, Tap is making appearances throughout. He's kind of helping Doc. But at the end, Volt tells us, oh, like, I know you care about this kid, talking to Jules. I know you care about this kid because your dad pulled him out of the fire as, like, one of his last acts alive, basically. And you find that out. You find that out at the very end. And I had forgotten about that. And I'm like, oh, you see him as a little brother.
There's this conversation when both Jules and Izzy are like doing that very stupid, like, oh, I'm gonna tell you some very hateful things so that way you don't get hurt and you just run away from each other. Like I I usually roll my eyes in every book or movie or TV show where the love interests do that to each other. I'm like, this is just like stupid because I know that y'all are just gonna run back to each other's arms. This is just a waste of time. Um, but when they're doing that, that's when you learn about Jules' father and what
Mhm.
he did for a living. And when you learn that about Tap, um, it does put on a little bit more weight because, like you said, he does have like this sense of responsibility, this sense of like, yeah, being the father figure
Yep.
to Tap. And Andrew is here in the chat. Hello, hello.
Hello, Andrew.
But yeah, I think that each part of this story was very meticulously brought about to not be just like, oh, we're gonna throw this in here just to be filler, right? Because like
Yeah.
even the moment of like Izzy needs to get this satchel, but that's Doc's office. Nobody goes in there. Every single
Hondo's
thing,
office.
Hondo's office. Yeah, excuse me, Hondo's office. Everything that goes in there stays in there, and once it goes in, it never comes out. I love this part because first they're trying to argue on who should do it and who shouldn't. And then finally Izzy starts to get in there. And then Izzy, not really knowing what she's doing, it also has this moment of like, God damn it, he was right. Because she gets in there and it's on the highest of all shelves. And she's like, oh, Jules wouldn't even have to jump to get that. He could just reach for it and get it. Okay, let me go climb on this and see if I can grab it. But like, I say all that to who we eventually meet is Delta.
Yep.
This one moment, this seemingly like kind of comedic relief moment in this very tense situation actually leads us to a character that is going to help our main characters throughout the rest of the story. Like, I really enjoyed how Cordova really structured this story from beginning to end.
Yeah. Uh, and like you said, there's some points of levity, but they all come back to tie you together at the end. And it just really works out very nicely. What did you think about Damar, Izzy's ex, in this book?
Damar, I feel like, needed a little more character buildup. Because, yes, he's the scummy ex boyfriend. That's kind of the easiest thing you can label him as. And then he just becomes like the main villain
Mm-hmm.
all of the sudden. There's nothing really there. But then he isn't the main villain because it's actually this other girl who Damar actually, chose besides Izzy, right?
Yep.
Her name is what is her
Anna?
name? Yes, Anna. It is. Hold on. Is it Anna? We're Crash of Fate characters. Am I in the right book? Yeah, this is Crash of Fate. It's Anna something. I can't remember what her last name is. Anatola.
Yeah.
Yes, Anatola. She is like the real villain. And I think with Damar, like, you do at one point just finally realize, oh, he's just being a good little boy listening to every order that's taken, right? Or that's given to him.
Mm-hmm.
Um he doesn't really have he's probably the guy that doesn't really have an original thought to his mind, you know?
Nope.
Um especially you get that especially when he tries to play like the cool suave guy when he first meets with Izzy and Jules outside of Doc's place. And that's when Izzy actually shot at his feet, you know.
Yeah.
Um but like I wanted more from him. I think I needed a little bit more depth with him to really feel like when they finally leave, or like when they finally like win, quote unquote, against Anatola and Damar and the old crew,
Hmm.
that like it would be worth it, right? Um cuz even when you look at that whole conflict, there isn't like a huge fight. There
Yeah.
isn't like a battle to win or anything else. It's really, hey, let's stop this objective. And that's really all they do. And I think that's more so the nature of it being a young adult novel and not an adult novel. I think there would have been a little bit more of a battle or a blaster fight or something, but it is what it is. But I do think that he needed a little bit more characterization. Anatola, you could just kind of hear the poison in her lines a lot when
Yeah.
she was talking to Izzy, and you're like, oh, you're a mean girl. You're
Yeah.
a mean girl.
Total
Okay,
mean girl.
I know who you are already. You know, um, and then of course when you learn at the very end what she's wanting to do, like, and I think that's kind of like it for me is the fact that like I probably needed another 5 chapters to kind of learn Anatola's real motivations. Like, whose orders does she get this from? And like, where does this really come from?
So it was a job that she got hired for.
Yeah, I know that, but there wasn't really any there. I know that in the end, it wasn't really super important to the story. Otherwise, I do
Yeah.
think Cordova would have gone in depth for it because she wanted to keep the focus on, of course, Izzy and Jules, and they're just going to stop the people that are trying to do this. That's totally fine. I understand that. But I think for me personally, because I'm the type of person that when I'm reading these stories, I do want to get inside the head of every character.
Yeah.
And, we got really, really spoiled with the High Republic, with getting to getting to be with the Nihil for 5 years and knowing what they want, when they want it, if they're going to take a detour on that mission, what have you, and all of this other stuff. And with Anna, Damar, and this crew, like I was just like, okay, they're just there to cause trouble, and then it escalates super quickly to, hey, we're gonna destroy crops and the planet,
Yeah.
and so that's the only thing for me that makes it feel a little rushed. But again, when you sit down and notice the hyper fixation and focus on Jules and Izzy, that little hiccup of plot device doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Because like you said, I think you're right in that Cordova is just like, okay, I'm gonna give her mean girl vibes, and that's really all the characterization you need to know there. Like, because of where this is at, she wanted to focus in on the main characters versus giving you more characterization to a person who's typecast a lot. And she just typecast them and kind of went with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love this one. This is always a reread for me, and makes me super happy. So easy read. Yeah.
Yeah, and my thing is, at the very end, we get the epilogue, which is I think it's the epilogue that this happens, but
Yeah.
like we see Delta, we see Volt, we see Jules, we see Izzy, and then like we see all of this space battle start to happen above Batu. And I believe this is supposed to really show that like the fight against the First Order is like truly in the thick of it, right?
Yeah.
And it's really weird because Cordova writes it like we're going to follow these characters somewhere else.
She left it open for us
Yeah.
to have a sequel, which I think basically her intuition here was like, we could do a sequel to this book, or you just know, okay, they're in the giant ship fight at the end of Rise of Skywalker.
They are in the Resistance, yeah.
Like, and so I think that works, especially for this era, because you have, and now people could call it lazy writing, but I think it works when you have the justification for it. There's a bunch of ships there, and we don't know half of what those ships are or who is flying them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of leeway that comes there when you see ships and you don't know where they're from.
They're gonna eventually make, from a certain point of view, the Rise of Skywalker.
The rise of from a certain point of view. Dun, dun, dun.
And I think Cordova should definitely get a story with Izzy and Jules.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Clay. Well, I think this is everything that we had. I know, guys, this is a short review, but honestly, this is a fairly easy book. And we didn't really hit a lot of spoilers. We just kind of talked about things and had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it's a 30 chapter book. I think digitally it's like 420 something pages. So very, very simple read. I was able to get through it in 2 days. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I'm gonna probably most likely start Lost Stars tonight, if not tomorrow. I have the physical book. I was gonna start the audiobook later, but I borrowed it from Libby.
I went back and renewed it because I borrowed it too early.
I did too. It's due in 1 hour. And I can't renew the loan because so many people are wanting to read it.
That sucks.
So I can't currently renew it.
And guys, this book, if you do not currently have a copy on Audible or Libro FM, I think is what the other audio one is, it is currently not licensed anywhere other than libraries that Clay and I have found for an audio copy. Like I can't even access my copy that I had on Audible.
That's crazy.
Right now, like it's not showing up on my Audible at all, and I know I own all of the Star Wars novels, so I got it from the library. But you can find it on the library there, or ebook, or hard copy books. I have the hard copy, and I think I also have the digital copy.
Very nice.
Whatever, it is what it like. So if you want to join us next week,
I'm gonna actually try. So I tried Libby. I'm gonna try Hoopla to see if the audio
might have it. Yeah,
I think the audiobook on Hoopla might save me in being able to read this a little bit faster. So I'll try it.
Yeah.
But I think that is it, guys. Excuse me. I am slowly dying over here.
Same.
Of course, you can find me at Fanboy Clay at any and all social media. Specifically more Instagram and Threads. Excuse me. And if, oh my goodness, if you guys have any kind of interest in Pokemon cards, One Piece trading cards, you can hang out with me from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time over on a TikTok channel called Kingdoms Breaks. That is where my job is, where I just open Pokemon cards and I get paid for it on the hour. So come hang out with me. We'll talk about Star Wars. We'll talk about Pokemon. We'll talk about anything. But yeah. Katie, what about you?
Y'all, you can find me on most social media platforms. It's at Slice of Katie. I don't hang out on social media a lot anymore. I do try and stay up to date on everything. Clay sends me a lot of things. Thank you, Clay. But I do a lot of other things now. But I promise I will get back to you as soon as I can. Like, I just realized, Clay, as we were talking about this, I never messaged my Knock Banner and Chris back. Like,
Oh no.
never message them back. They're gonna think that I hate their guts. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to send them a message, and hopefully I don't forget. But yeah, I promise I'll get back to you guys at some point. I promise. It may not happen immediately. Is all that's to say. So yeah. With that, guys, I want to wish everyone a great day or night, whatever time of day you're listening or watching, and we will see y'all next time. May the force be with you.